Hi guys. So I know today's been long. Tomorrow you have no homework. Okay, or all you'll be doing is watching a video, I believe, or a Desmos activity. I haven't figured it out yet, but it has to do with graphs of exponentials. Okay, and I know it's a pain, but you've got to get good at this, and just in the time that we have, that's what's necessary. Okay, so one last thing I wanted us to work on today is what to do when these powers don't work, okay, or when it's not a nice power. So we are going to look at what's called the change of base formula. Okay. So it lets us use our calculator to approximate. Okay, so and it's pretty important later on, so make sure that you have a handle on it today. Okay, so change of base formula. So this is for when we can't find an exact answer. Okay, so let's say we have log base 3 of 50. Okay, so what we would have been doing earlier is saying 3 to the what power is 50. And so if we go through our powers of 3, we run into a problem because 50 doesn't show up on our chart. So what do? Well, what we could do is start approximating. Okay, so we know 3 cubed is 27. 3 to the 4th is 81. And so we know 50 has to be, right, 50 is in between 27 and 81. So we know our answer is between 3 and 4. Okay, so then what we do is we go one more decimal place. We say, well, maybe it's 3.5. Okay, and so 3 to the 3.5, if I do that in my calculator, is 46.7. Okay, well, that's too small. So then I try 3 to the 3.6. Well, that's too big. Okay, so what I know right now is that it must be 3.5 something. Okay, so I guess again. So let's say it's 3.55. Okay, so if I put 3.55 in my calculator, 3 to the 3.55, I find out that it's 49.4. Well, that's too small, so I bump it up and I take 3 to the 3.56, which is 49.95, which is still a little too small. Okay, so then I try 3 to the 3.57, which is 50.5, so that's too big. So I know that it has to be between the 6 and the 7, so it's 3.56 something now. And we keep doing that till we get a good decimal approximation, usually about 4 decimals. Okay, so although that's kind of fun trying to narrow it down playing that game, that's not what we want to have to do all the time. Okay, so thank goodness we have what's called the change of base formula, and it goes like this. We can take any log that we have and we can rewrite it as the log of A over the log of B. Okay, so notice the A is this part right here. Okay, and so it goes on top, and then the B, the base, goes in the bottom, or I like to say the base goes in the basement. Okay, so what we can do is just do log of A over log of B, which is, and I wrote this specifically, our common log, right? We can use the log button on our calculator now. Okay, but it also says we could actually take the natural log of A over the natural log of B as well. It does not matter what base we use, okay, as long as we were consistent. So we could take any, it should have been a log, okay, we could take any base that we want to and rewrite it as a ratio. Okay, now which ones are we interested in? We're interested in these because they're on our calculator. Okay, so let's try that. So log base 3 of 50. Okay, our formula says we can take the log of 50 over the log of 3. Okay. I strongly encourage you to do these with me and get comfortable with your calculator, because sometimes we miss parentheses, things like that, that can really mess us up. It looks simple enough, And it is, but we don't want to miss it just because we can't do our calculator right. Okay, so we're going to take log of 50. So on these calculators, you push log, you push 50. Notice it opened up a parenthesis. You have to shut that parenthesis. Otherwise, it keeps taking the log of something. Okay, so log of 50 divided by the log of 3. Okay, again, close. And we get 3.5609. So usually we go to about 4 decimal places. Okay, notice that is, we were getting on our way, right? We got to the 3.56 part. So we're doing a great job. Now, can I use my natural log button and get the same thing? And the answer is yes. Okay, so let's try that. The natural log of 50 over the natural log of 3. Okay. So again, with your calculator, make sure you're careful with your parentheses. Again, I would encourage you to use yours so you're comfortable with it. And we get the exact same thing. So if I use natural log, that's perfectly fine if you use log. Okay, let's try another one. So log base 7 of 500. Okay. So if we look at our powers of 7 real quick, does 500 show up? No. Okay. What I do know is that 7 to the third is 343, and 7 to the fourth is 2,401. So we know our answer's got to be 3 point something. Okay, and probably closer to the 3 end than the 4 end, just because of how far away from 2,400 it is. Okay, but let's go ahead and use our change of base formula. So we get log of 500 over log of 7, because remember the base goes in the basement. Get off of the chair. Okay, so we get log of 500 over log of 7, or remember you can do natural log of 500 over the natural log of 7. Does not matter which one. Okay, and so we get approximately 3.1937. Oops. And again, it doesn't matter if you do log or natural log. So that is what the change of base formula is. It's a great tool that lets us approximate logs. Okay, so the last thing I need you to practice today, and again, you don't have to turn it in, but you do need to try them and then check with my answers. Okay, is page 399. And if you try 33 to, well, I'd say just 36. Okay, so 33 to 36. So let me know if you have any questions, and I will talk with you later.